What up, people? What up, what up, what up? It's me again, L Teddy 27, Angry Teacher Chronicles. This is my review for Pose Season 2, Episode 6. Alright, let's get to it. We start off like normal. At the ball, Pray Tell, and we'll get right, because the category was Back to the Future. They're supposed to be giving futuristic stuff. Futuristic realness, I should say. And Pray Tell, you see him, he's, all sweaty and stuff like that. And, he's having a hard time. He passes out. Pray Tell goes to the hospital. After that, I can empathize with Pray Tell in the hospital, because when you're someone who has a big personality, who's a very assertive person, who's always in command, who's always that go-to person, who's always in a position of leadership, who's always the person that everybody looks to have it together, in those rare moments where you don't have it together and you fall apart, sometimes, and people say it's being dramatic, but I can certainly empathize with, sometimes you just want to have that moment to have, like he said, that temper tantrum. And he said it was, he started off by saying, don't treat me like a child. When they were saying, oh, it's okay, we'll take care of everything. And he just wanted that opportunity to just scream and holler and just have the temper tantrum and just get out of character and out of pocket, because you're always having to be so well put together. And I certainly know what that feels like, because sometimes when I get to moments like that, I just want to be able to scream and holler and just have a moment that is not the usual me, or that people are not used to. So I totally understood that, because that's a part of the letting go sometimes, and venting and getting it all out. You just need that opportunity. Then Blanca's at the shop. She has started to, because I didn't mention that at the ball before he passed out, Pray Tell started to tell everybody about the AIDS cabaret that he was having at the hospital for all of the victims of AIDS that were, basically dying. So Blanca now takes the bull by the horns, takes the reins, and she becomes the person that is solely pretty much in charge of planning this whole thing. So she starts to publicize it and advertise the AIDS cabaret on the windows at her shop. Landlord Frederica comes through. Frederica, which I thought was very good advice, told her, hey boo, you advertising AIDS cabaret, that's not a good look, especially during that climate. And it's good now in 2019 to say, oh, that was the right thing. Oh, she was being progressive. And sure, it looks great right now. But the fact of the matter is, at that time, not so much. That wasn't good for business. And a good businesswoman is always thinking about the bottom dollar. She snatched that good sign up off the window and said, hey boo, you don't need to have this if you want to make some money. Tried to give her a little $20 or whatever. Say, if you need money that bad, here you go for your little AIDS thing. And she was like, no, you know what? She snatched a little 20 back. I'm going to come and perform at your little AIDS cabaret, your little AIDS show. We'll get back to that later. Then we're at the hospital with Pray Tell. And so now Pray Tell gets a roommate. And I want to talk about this for a second. When the roommate first gets there, Pray Tell tries to do what Pray Tell does when he meets one of the girls. And they have this back and forward. And Pray Tell keeps calling him a queen. And the guy says, I'm a college-educated man, not a queen. And there's this elitism about the guy. Now, the interesting part is, this is a dynamic that is played out to this day within the black gay community. The whole elitism thing, the whole oh, I'm one of the educated gays, versus, girl, I'm one of the girls, and girl, bitch, you ain't nobody. You know, that you see it play out so very often. That is real, and I think they spoke to it a little, but they didn't really like drive it home, and they didn't really get to the crux of it, because there is definitely that dynamic within the gay community where the gays who may not have gone to school feel like they are looked down upon by those gays that have degrees and so forth. And on the other side, the gays that do have the degrees feel like they are above those that don't have degrees. And my take on it is, neither is better than the other. Both are needed. I do think it's very important and I speak to all of the young gay community and tell them, yes, get as educated as you can. But with the same acknowledgement of me knowing that it's not for everyone. And so we do need to be well rounded, but there is certainly that dynamic. And I think I talked about in a live, there are certain cities that are like uber, I mean, just like to the nth degree. um those gays, like DC, the DC metropolitan area is an area where the gays really have this elitist mentality, where the credential holders, the degreed girls, look down upon anybody, not just the other gays, but anybody who can't meet that standard. Moving on. The roommate has a heart attack, and so Pray Tell is screaming, and he's getting besides himself, and he's sedated. And during his sedation, he has a series of dreams and visions and hallucinations. So the first person that shows up is Candy, Miss Candy. She comes and she propositions Pray Tell to listen. It's great where I'm at. Girl, you might as well come on and come with me, because it's great. She even reveals to Pray Tell that she did have AIDS. Now, in the back of my mind, I couldn't help but to think that maybe she wasn't necessarily being totally truthful about that, because she said she had AIDS, but then she said she was always so protected. She always used protection. And so I kind of felt, although she may have had AIDS, or HIV, I kind of felt she was saying that for the purposes of trying to lure Pray Tell into coming with her and getting him to, using that as a ploy to get him to come with her, so that he could empathize with her. So then, but he tells her, no, I'm going to fight. It's not my time. It's not my time. So then the hospital loses power because there's a really bad storm. And then Pray Tell is visited by his stepfather. And the stepfather, we find out, molested Pray Tell. And so you start to get into the background of Pray Tell. And then Pray Tell's, because Pray Tell never forgave his stepfather. He never forgave the stepfather. He always harbored resentment, and he wanted the stepfather to go away and not haunt him. And one of the ways that he tried to get him to go away was by saying, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Because the first thing the stepfather said was, well, you're going to have to forgive me. And he was like, no. And so when he wanted the stepfather to just go away because he didn't want to be reminded of all of those horrible memories, he was like, no, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. Because at that point, he wanted to do anything to do away with those memories. Next person who visited him is his ex-boyfriend. Not the guy who died at the beginning of this season, but the guy who died of AIDS at during last season. I think the Hispanic guy. And so the Hispanic guy said, listen, we're going to the cabaret, to the AIDS cabaret. So he has this whole AIDS cabaret for victims of AIDS during his hallucinations. And he performs. Now, this started a series of phenomenal music and phenomenal performance. Every performance except for one was phenomenal and had some of my favorite all-time songs. Listen, let me tell you, we'll go through it. First, let me start off with Pray Tell and this Tux, which was The Fool. That Tux was a whole shitrous ass mess. Shitrous ass mess. Okay? Looking like the goddamn Tin Man with a long train with fly. It was a mess. It was not, it didn't fit well. It didn't look good. The train was ugly on it. And we know that Pray Tell can dress. The real Billy Porter can dress. That shit was a goddamn mess. Anyway, Billy Porter performs for these dead during this hallucination. And listen, if you've never heard Billy Porter in a Broadway play or in a musical live, you are missing out. He's a phenomenal stage performer. Phenomenal. And listen, that young man performed The Man That Got Away, the famous song, The Man That Got Away, the Gershwin, The Man That Got Away, performed by none other than the timeless Judy Garland. Whew. Y'all, I mean, from the, the so famous movie A Star Is Born, from way back in, when did that movie come out? 50s, late 50s, early 60s, somewhere around there. I think it was in the 50s. But Judy Garland is so, as much as they talk about her in The Wizard of Oz, her performance of The Man That Got Away in A Star Is Born, the Gershwin, oh my God. You gotta go watch it. And listen, Billy Porter's voice is phenomenal. He performs the shit out of that song. Oh, he was great. Oh, he was phenomenal. Gotta give it up for Billy Porter in this performance. Then Pray Tell's mom comes to visit, and the scene went by so fast. I missed it. I don't even know. Like, I looked up and it was already going because I was writing some notes, and I looked up and I heard him mention his mom, and I looked up real fast and we were already at commercial. And I wonder if that was purpose. That was on purpose, that they didn't give you a lot of time with his mom. They gave you much more time with his stepfather than they did with his mom. And I wonder if maybe perhaps that's not going to come later, or maybe there wasn't a reason why they said, nah, we're not going to give you that much yet. That was something that left me wondering. Next, we're at Blanca's house. Blanca's in there trying to plan out stuff for the actual AIDS cabaret that's actually going to happen in real life. And, her kids are in the background. They're, noisy. They're chatting it up, being, regular, normal people socializing. She gets annoyed. She comes in there. She starts yelling. She talks about, hey, I'm in there planning, and you people, da-da-da-da-da. And they're trying to celebrate Angel getting another modeling gig. And she's not here for it. She said, y'all know I have this dyslexia, and I don't think they knew she had dyslexia. And it's hard for me to plan out these things, this, that, and the third. She wasn't having no parts of it. And they all say, you know what? And so Angel comes and hugs her and tells them to come and hug her. And then they leave, and she talks to Angel. Blanca talks to Angel about it. And Blanca blames herself. She does blame herself for what happened to Pray Tell and the AZT making him sick. She blames herself because she kept really pushing and prodding and getting him to, trying to get him to agree to do that. When we get back to the hospital, we see Blanca goes in there and talks to Pray Tell. Because Sandra Bernhardt's character comes, and she's dressed really nice. And she's like, Pray Tell isn't coming. So Blanca goes in there to talk to Pray Tell, and Pray Tell comes right out and says, "Yes, I blame you. Sure do. I blame you. Because I wouldn't be here had you not made me take that. And I was still taking my butter, the butter regimen." So Blanca feels worse. But they kind of scrapped that. And she was like, "Listen, you coming? Go ahead and put on your little raggedy ass perfume or cologne." Okay. She said something to him that I always say to all my friends. She was like, "Get your life together, okay?" I say that to my friends all the time. I'll be like, "Get your life together." I'll be like, "Get your life in order." That's just something I say. So it made me laugh. Next, we're at the AIDS Cabaret, the actual AIDS Cabaret, okay? The real one. Listen, Sandra Bernhard comes out first and performs my song. This is one of my top 3 songs. Listen. Mm-mm. Sometimes It Snows in April is one of my top 3 all-time songs by Prince. And if you have not heard, and a lot of people that are familiar with Prince have never heard Sometimes It Snows in April. And I love this song. Listen, love Sometimes It Snows in April. And Sandra Bernhard, who's not that great of a singer, actually did really well with this performance. Next, we have the landlord, Frederica, whatever her name is. She performs. Now, she performed a great song from a great musical. The musical, The Follies musical from back in the early 70s. She performed I'm Still Here, which was a great song, made famous first by Yvonne DiCarlo, who's the mother from the hit television series The Munsters. The woman who plays the Munsters, the mother, is Yvonne DiCarlo, and she was the original performer of that song. Okay? Great song, I'm Still Here, from the musical The Follies. They had some great, they paid complete homage to Broadway and the theater because they had some great songs. And she was actually good. Next, we see there at Blanca's salon, and the nephew or whatever, or the son, and got his boys that they are boarding up the whole salon. She calls them and she goes in the hallway and calls them and say, "Make sure y'all have all the chains boarded up." And he was like, "I need more time." She said, "All right, whatever you got an hour, but y'all need to have that shit together." Girl, they are boarding it up and cleaning Blanca out, honey. Then we have Electra goes up there to perform. Girl, she's the whole ass mess. Just a damn mess. Just a damn mess. She was as much of a mess as Pray Tell's Tin Man suit tuxedo was during the fake or the dream AIDS Cabaret. Just a damn mess. Of course, House of Wintour, they come out, they jump up cheering and screaming for their mama. And everybody looking at these whores like, bitch. Anyway, just a damn mess. Blanca gets up and Blanca reveals that she has AIDS. And she then performs. And I can't even say one of Stevie Wonder's all-time greats. Stevie Wonder has so many all-time greats. His whole catalog can be considered an all-time great. Okay? But Love's in Need of Love Today is one of those all-time greats. From Songs in the Key of Life, which is one of the greatest albums of all time. Songs in the Key of Life, one of the greatest albums ever. Anyway, so she performed. Now, let me say this, and this might come out harsh, so I'm going to preface by saying this. And I said this last season, even though I wasn't doing reviews last season for you all, but I said this amongst my friends. I love me some Blanca. But MJ Rodriguez, the actual actress, can sing. But the problem that I have with MJ Rodriguez's singing is you are a trans woman and your singing voice is very much a man. And so I'm kind of thrown off because you got this trans woman whose speaking voice is very feminine, But baby, when she sings, you get all man. All man. And so it kind of just always throws me off. And when they had Ace Cabaret last year and they sang, didn't they sing Home last year? I forgot. It was the same thing. I was like, girl, you just gonna show your little manly voice like that? But anyway, I know that came out harsh. I'm sorry, y'all. But it was a great performance still. Because she's a phenomenal singer. But it's just real manly, ain't it? Real manly. I can't even say it sounds like one more good contralto. Because even contraltos still, the tone and intonation of their voice still sounds female, just in a lower register. That ain't the case, honey. You hear cojones in this. You hear bass, Adam's apple. Baby, I'm just saying. Next scene, we see Blanca show up to that good salon, baby, and they done boarded her all the way up. She knew the girl, that young lady had, Frederica had got, because Frederica was like, oh, let me take you out to eat or whatever to buy more time. And baby, when she got to that salon, baby, and was boarded up, she saw she had been gooped and had been got together. And then after that, they're at Blanca's house. Pray Tell is there. And she talks about how she's planning on suing Frederica. And they were like, girl, that could take years. Months and years. And so then they talk about how they're putting Pray Tell back on the butter regimen, to get the AIDS out of him and to, add more pounds back to him. Or get, not the AIDS, the AZT out of him. So I found that funny, as I call it, the butter regimen. And then they go to Pray Tell says, Blanca says she's going to protest in front of the salon. Pray Tell says, sure, we'll go with you. The family's going to go with her. So when they get there, they're protesting, and Pray Tell gets the whole gay community, all of the ballroom scene, to come out there and protest with Blanca against Frederica. And Frederica rides by in her limousine, and she sees, dozens of people out there. And, she sees, oh, yeah, I got a problem now, because that's going to draw press. And the last scene, we got Pray Tell at home. And who comes to visit him? Miss Candy. Candy tells him, oh, yes, I am going to haunt you until you take me up on my proposition. And you come with me, meaning she wanted him to give up and just allow himself to die and come with her. And he says, no, it's not my time. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. She was like, okay, every time you have a weak moment, I'll be right here, ready. And it goes off like that. And I think it's so poignant that it's Candy who, Pray Tell, admitted that reminded him so much of himself. So it's like when she comes, it's the true essence of who he wishes he could be, or the true essence of himself talking to himself. And I wonder if inevitably it will win. Because if your true self is talking to yourself and telling you it's time to go, and this other portion of yourself is saying, no, it's not my time, there's that constant battle. Which one's going to win? Only time will tell. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Pose Season 2, Episode 6. Great episode again. Always phenomenal. Hope y'all like this review. Please, y'all leave comments. And before I go, I'm thinking about doing maybe next week or a week after that. If y'all tell me you want me to, let me know in the comments if you want me to. I'm thinking about doing a live, meaning while the episode is on, a live review during a live. Y'all let me know if you think that's a good idea or not in the comments. That's all I got for y'all. I'll be back next week. Same time, same place. And I'm out. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.